you didn't stop the guy, you don't notice the drone, you didn't cover the roof, all of that. But the number one thing is, why do you let the president take the stage when you have all of these uncertainties? So Dan Bishop, who's a very good conservative, asked Christopher Wray that. I'm going to let you listen to this.
Frankly, and tell us what you know. I think the American people want to know. Why was President Trump not kept off the stage?
We don't know the answer to that, but I want to be clear, and this is important because I think it goes to questions that I can and cannot answer. Our investigation, the FBI's mandate, is focused on the shooter and all things related to his attack. Now, obviously, I understand very much the intense interest and focus on the Secret Service's performance, actions, decision-making, et cetera. There are two separate after-action reviews, the DHS Inspector General and the outside independent panel that's been convened that are focused on that. Now, our investigation will obviously overlap with that.
Here's the problem. We're out 13 days, and you say we've been disclosing. You know, we had the director, the colonel from the Pennsylvania State Police in front of Homeland yesterday. He was quite candid. He disclosed to us that Butler Emergency Services Unit personnel were posted into the windows on the second floor of the AGR building, that they left there to go pursue the person that they spotted, Crooks, that they texted a photo of Crooks to the PSP representative in the command center. That information was relayed to the United States Secret Service. They asked that it be texted to someone else. That was many minutes before President Trump took the stand. What we don't know is why were they not keeping him off the stand? And to the extent, you know, I know we always hear when there's a criminal investigation, you got to wait for that to develop. But do you have any reason to, do you have any other target of your criminal investigation other than Crooks, who's dead?
We are investigating the shooter both to determine his motive and his preparations and activities before the shooting, but also to make sure whether or not there are any co-conspirators, accomplices.
At this point, have you developed any evidence to so suggest that there are any accomplices or cooperators or assisters?
Not at this time, but again, the investigation's ongoing.
So here's the thing.
All right, so two interesting points here. He says, I don't know why President Trump was allowed to take the stage, as if even he is baffled by the idea of President Trump taking the stage. I don't know is clearly not acceptable, but he is in the FBI, not the Secret Service. Not his purview. I'll give him that. The other part of this is, are there any other accomplices? Did he have help? He says he knows of no one that helped him at this time, leaving the investigation open. My problem with the FBI is I never actually know whether to believe them or not. He seems credible when he says that, John, but I don't know if he had help or not through all of this. Do you believe him when he says, no, there's no other bad actors involved in this that he knows of now?
I don't believe anything he says. I mean, this is the Department of Justice and its conduct for the last 8 years has shown a lack of impartiality where Donald J. Trump is concerned. I don't believe anything these guys say. You know, there was, I mean, for 2 minutes, there are people on the ground yelling, pointing, frantically yelling and pointing. There's someone on the roof. Why not just tell Donald Trump to get down? Just hit the deck, just anything. Just let him sit there pointing away at this overhead display thing without saying a word to him. Just hit the deck. Would have sufficed. Let me give you something that people forget. You see, our news flow is so insane that we forget things of the past. In 2015, I suddenly remembered this yesterday. The Curtis Colwell Center in Arlington, Virginia. There was some kind of convention that was going on there that was deemed to be Islamophobic. The FBI had been observing for years a couple of boys who lived in Phoenix, Arizona, who had gotten mixed up in their online communications with radical jihadist circles. There was an undercover FBI agent who was texting with them and encouraging them to go ahead, get in their cars, go to Austin and attack this scheduled convention. In his own words, and this is all public record because it was the subject of a lawsuit by a security guard who was wounded, the undercover FBI agent said, "Tear up Texas." They actually tracked these boys on the whole drive from Phoenix to Arlington, Texas. The undercover agent who'd corresponded with them followed them into the convention center. They're armed to the teeth, multiple rifles, covered with ancillary magazines. Had it not been for an old-timer security guard who was just a good quick draw with his sidearm, these guys would have shot the whole place up.
Yeah, I remember that story. I was covering that for the local TV station at the time when that happened. And the FBI, you're right, has a long history of this. Do you remember his name was Hossam Smadi? He was the guy that was trying to blow up one of the downtown office buildings, drives a vehicle filled with phony explosives in his car, ready to detonate it in the bottom garage of this giant high-rise in downtown Dallas. He was recruited by the FBI off a chat board as a radical Islamic extremist, and the FBI sets up this car to go blow the building up. And meanwhile, it's fake, and he hits the button, and then the FBI rushes in and arrests him as a terrorist. Think about Gretchen Whitmer in Michigan. The FBI sets up the kidnapping plot to have these so-called right-wing extremists go kidnap the governor, and they get so far down the road that the FBI had this all set up. You could see how it could get out of control if they don't have hands on every moment of the day. And I'll raise this question to you, not to be a conspiracy theorist here, okay? But we now know that thanks to the Heritage Foundation, they tracked the cell phones with these unique identifier numbers. They took, where does Matthew Crooks work? Where does he live? They found a cell phone number like they did in 2000 Mules that matched, so they assumed that's Crooks' cell phone. They follow that in the days leading up to the shooting. Home Depot, they believe that's when he buys the ladder, going scouting the building, but also goes to a building that houses many different stores, shops, and offices, but also has the FBI in the building. Okay? We don't know if he went to the FBI, but it's a building with an FBI office in there. We know he also has this gun range that we now know is used by the FBI. And not in an official capacity, but many law enforcement agents go to this gun range. Is it out of the realm of possibility, knowing what we know of all the things I just explained, of what you just explained, that there might be a law enforcement agent that go, hey, here we're at a gun range. We know the FBI's woke as all can be, and they hate gun owners. Wouldn't it be great to take out this president? Wouldn't it be great? And maybe trying to set something up or feel people out. Not that they had anything to do with it. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I'd like questions answered. But it's not out of the realm of possibility that this is something that could happen.
No, it's the most plausible hypothesis on the table.